So for your candy corn, you're going to need a size 6 chunky yarn in orange, yellow, and white. You'll also need a pair of scissors. I'm using a 5.5 millimeter hook, a yarn needle to sew it closed, and a bobby pin or a stitch marker to mark your stitches. So we're going to get started with the yellow yarn. We're going to make a slip knot. Get that on your hook and chain 15. Once you have 15 chains, we're going to start to single crochet from the second chain from the hook, and we're going to make 1 single crochet in each chain until we have 13 single crochet, and we should only have 1 chain left at the end. So once you have 13 single crochet, you should have 1 chain left. And in this chain, we're going to make 3 single crochet stitches. So once you've done your 3 single crochet in that last chain, we're gonna turn our work over to the other side. We're gonna be working on the other side of the chains. We're gonna make 12 single crochet. So that's 1 single crochet in each of the chains going down, and you should have 1 chain left. You're gonna have 1 chain left, and this is the same chain space that we made our very first single crochet. So we're going to make 2 more single crochet in that same space. And at the end of this round, you should have a total of 30 single crochet. Now to start round 2, we're going to make 1 single crochet in that very first single crochet that we did. And you're going to take your stitch marker and mark that as your first stitch of round 2. And for round 2, we're just making 1 single crochet in each of the stitches all the way around. So you should end still with a total of 30 stitches. Once you finish row 2, you should still have 30 stitches altogether. For row 3, we're going to start decreasing. So we're going to make 1 single crochet in the first stitch. Mark that. One single crochet in the next stitch. 1 single crochet in the third stitch. And then we're going to make an invisible decrease. So to do that, I'm just going to be going under the front loop of the next stitch. And then I'm going to go underneath the front loop of the next stitch. So you have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, and then yarn over to complete that single crochet. And we're going to repeat this pattern all the way around. So 3 single crochet, invisible decrease. Once you've completed that pattern all the way around, you're going to see your candy corn is going to start to curve inwards. You should have a total of 24 stitches. Now for round 4, we're just going to be making 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So once you've completed round 4, you should still have 24 single crochet all the way around. At this point, we're going to be switching to our orange yarn, and I'm going to be showing you guys how I like to do my color changes. So I'm going to get my orange yarn ready here. In the very last single crochet that we did in round 4, I'm going to take my hook, and if you can see, this is the last single crochet that we did. I'm going to go underneath the front loop like that, and I'm going to go underneath the loop right next to it, and I'm going to be pulling my orange yarn through here. So I made a little loop right here so my yarn can go through. I'm going to grab that and just pull it through. Now at this point, you can actually pull on your yellow yarn so that the loop comes undone. And then you can snip it right here. And you want your tail to be long enough that you can tie these 2 ends together. But before I do that, I'm going to get started with my next round with 1 single crochet in that first stitch. So that's 1 single crochet. And since we did a color change here, I'm not going to put my stitch marker back in for this round because I can clearly see what the first single crochet is for round 5. And to complete round 5, we're just going to be making 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around with the orange yarn. No increasing or decreasing. We should still end with 24 single crochet. And once you've completed round 5, we're going to come back to our very first single crochet that we made with the orange. At this point, I'm going to take my 2 ends, the orange and the yellow, my 2 tail ends, and I'm just going to tie them together. I'm just going to double knot them to secure the tails, and then we can hide those inside of our candy corn. There we go. And now we can get started on the next round. So for round 6, we're going to make 1 single crochet in that first stitch. And I'm going to grab my stitch marker again. We're going to make 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And then we're going to do an invisible decrease in the next stitch. And we're going to repeat that pattern all the way around. So 2 single crochet, invisible decrease, 2 single crochet, invisible decrease. And we should end with 18 stitches. So after you've completed round 6, you should have your 18 stitches. For rounds 7 and 8, we're just going to be making 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So once you've completed round 8, your candy corn should look like this. So at this point, we're going to color change to the white yarn. I'm going to take my hook again, and we're going to do that the same way we did for the orange. So there's the very last single crochet that we did. I'm going to go underneath the front loop. And then I'm going to go underneath that loop right next to it. And we're going to pull our white yarn through those 2 loops. Like that. And then you can gently tug on your orange yarn, pull that through, and then you can take out your stitch marker for this round. And then we're going to start by making our first single crochet in that first stitch. And you can snip your orange yarn. Now for this round, the pattern is going to be 1 single crochet, invisible decrease. So we already made our first single crochet, so now we're going to do an invisible decrease. And we're just going to repeat that pattern all the way around. You should be left with 12 stitches. So after you've completed round 9, I'm going to pull up a loop here so I don't lose my place and tie my 2 tail ends together. And I'm going to hide those tails inside our candy corn. And at this point, we can start to stuff our candy corn. And when you're stuffing your candy corn, make sure you use small little pieces like this so that it's easier to shape. And you don't have to stuff it too much. You want to leave space at the top so we can continue to close this up. For rounds 10 and 11, we're going to make 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. Make sure you mark that first stitch. So after round 11, we're almost done. At this point, I like to stuff it just a little bit more. So for round 12, our very last round, we're going to be making 6 invisible decreases. We should be left with 6 stitches at the end. So that's 1, 2. All right, and that's the end of round 12. So to finish off, I'm going to take out my stitch marker. I'm going to slip stitch to the next stitch. and just chain one to secure it. And at this point, you can cut a tail, just a small tail, enough to sew the end closed. I'm gonna pull that yarn through. If you feel like your candy corn needs a little more stuffing at the top, you can do that now. So after you're happy with the amount of stuffing, you can take your yarn needle and thread the end. And then I'm gonna be weaving in and out through the front loops of the last 6 stitches we made. And then I'm gonna fasten off by just making a small knot right next to where we ended. I'm gonna go underneath a stitch and I'm gonna pull it through, but not all the way. Make sure you leave a little loop right there. And then I'm gonna pull my yarn needle through. And that should secure the end. If you want to make it extra secure, you can do it one more time. Go under another stitch, pull it, but not all the way through. Then take your yarn needle and go through that loop. And then to hide the tail, you're just going to go through a stitch and come out through any stitch towards the middle, tug on it very lightly, and then snip that yarn. And the tail should spring back on the inside. So you can brush off your fuzzies. And there we have our little candy corn. And if you do make these, please make sure you tag me on Instagram at Alina Crochets. I would love to see your little candy corns. And I hope to see you guys in the next tutorial. Bye.